Well, congratulations on Palm Royale. It's really so much fun to watch, and also really has a lot of social commentary, which is what I kind of want to touch on first. And I'd love to go to you, Katie, and ask you a little bit about this juxtaposition of this candy colored world of, you know, aspiration, as opposed to we see Nixon on the TV talking about the Vietnam War, and then of course all these issues around women's rights and reproductive freedom, et cetera. Would you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, I think that that was incredibly important and is the thing and the gift that Abe brought to this is completely dimensionalizing the characters while still staying in the worlds that we're in. You know, we have the most unwoke women in this country club, and Kristen wanting to sort of come into that with a reminder, and this is the gift of Abe in terms of what are all the details around this and the creation of Laura's character of Linda and the feminist, again, that being a mirror to what's actually happening. And there were so many moments, I don't want to give any spoilers, but there were so many moments when we'd be filming this show set in 1969, and quite literally what was in the news cycle was very similar topics in women's issues and so forth. And so while that was depressing in some ways, it was also validating in the ways that we could amplify and explore these issues through these characters and through this lens of 1969.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you. And then, Abe, would you touch on that a little bit? The idea of this bookstore, Our Bodies, Our Shelves, very clever, uh, as being a safe space for not only these women, but also for Ricky Martin's character, Robert, who is grappling with his sexual identity.
Well, it was a time where, people were seeking out, marginalized people have always had to seek out their own communities. So we wanted to create a real counterpoint to that country club. It's like, okay, this is where these rarefied women go to feel safe. And this is where feminists and gay men and people of color can go to feel safe and find love. And so to have those two worlds coexisting and always sort of pinging off of each other was really important. So we didn't want to have another show about rich women fighting with one another. We're all full up on that, I think, in the world. And yet there's a way of turning that on its head, and what people come to expect from that kind of a narrative. We talked a lot in the writers' room about, expectations for female characters, and wanting to subvert them. And not only subvert them, but to dimensionalize them. And so that was sort of our guiding principle as we built out the world, and certainly Ricky's character is a big part of that as well. That it's like what was a gay man going through in 1969 where it was illegal to be him. And there are all kinds of Roberts in Palm Beach, that gay men who find safety in the bosom of the older woman, the rich woman who's living alone, and they create these little friendships, and they feel safe. So putting it in that time period and creating these two worlds really allowed our imaginations to run wild, and we could go anywhere.
Yeah, wonderful. Well, thank you very much for that. And then I wonder, Katie, would you talk a little bit about the notion of secrets? And many secrets are divulged over the course of the season. And, there's this idea of keeping up with the Joneses that is, really dark, that I think gets revealed. And would you touch on that, please?
Yeah, I think what Abe did in dimensionalizing the characters is it's surprising that there are secrets that surprise us about all the characters, and it brings a humanity to the characters. And there could be a facade, or seemingly a facade, of these fabulous women, and you realize that they get up every day with the same vulnerabilities and the same troubles and the same fears. And so through the course of the season, by revealing some of their secrets and their vulnerabilities, it kind of normalizes and makes the feeling of the show very authentic. And narratively, it makes it intriguing. kind of, there's a propulsion to the narrative by having these secrets and the reveals, and it's not what it seems.